Light Yagami was right. This is a response to Avent's video. Now, first, many might say Light was wrong because he murdered people. He was no different than a murderer. He took the lives of others when he shouldn't have. But this is only by society's norms, society's standards that aren't entirely accurate. In today's society, it's seen as weird to take the lives of others. But back then, humans would have took the lives of their enemies, took the lives of people that got in their way, took the lives of threats, and that's what he did. He took the lives of the people that were trying to stop him from doing what he was doing, and he took the lives of evil people. And his goal of trying to cleanse the world of evil, that goal is not wrong. Now, it was necessary for him to take these people's lives though. He needed to, because if he didn't, he would have been stopped. What he was doing, it would have been ended. He wouldn't be able to reach his goal. Just because he took the lives of others, it doesn't mean he was wrong. You have to understand this. In our society, yes, it's illegal and so on, but warriors would have fought to the death, taking the lives of their enemies and taking lives of threats. In nature, you see other animals taking the lives of other animals, even sometimes taking the lives of their own kind. Another thing is that some will say that Light was selfish. Now, if he happens to be selfish, this doesn't prove that he's wrong. He might have been very confident and believed that he was better than everybody else because to some degree, this is justified. He was a very hardworking individual who was smarter than everybody else, who was more accomplished than everybody else for his age and how well he had performed in school, getting the best grades. So him believing he's better than everybody else doesn't prove that he's wrong, and it's not a false belief at all because it is technically true. Light Yagami's goal was to cleanse the world of evil, and you have to expect that the people that were getting in his way, like L, if they had caught him, his goal would have been ended and he wouldn't be able to reach it. He would have been stopped. So just because the fact that he takes someone's life, it doesn't prove that he's wrong. And technically, anybody can take the life of anybody because if somebody's trying to stop you, if someone's a threat to you, it's natural to take their life. And in this case, it was definitely needed because this was the way, taking their lives with the death note, to not be stopped. I feel like it's pretty simple and straightforward that he wasn't actually wrong. What he was doing was right. You normally don't take the lives of people you feel for, people you like, people you get along with, but people who are a threat to you, people who you see as evil, it makes perfect sense to take those people's lives. But in our society today, we've made the rule as you can't take the life of anyone. It's more extended version of what you would see in nature. Instead of where it starts at, not taking the lives of people you feel for or get along with, it extends to, oh, there's other people that others might feel for and care for and get along with. So this means you shouldn't take their life either. No, but they might, be a threat to you. They might not get along with you. So it's not actually wrong to take their life. By logical standards, only in our modern society it's seen as very weird, but you can't use this as an argument to why he was wrong because he's no different than some murderer. Just because he commits murders, it doesn't mean he was wrong. Sure, you might think the act of murder or taking someone's life is horrible, and it can be at times. However, taking the lives of criminals to cleanse the world of evil, which was necessary to reach his goal, and then take the lives of others who were trying to stop him, people who were his enemies and threats. This was also necessary. And the people who were his enemies and going after him knew that he could take the lives of others and that he very well would take their life since they were a threat to him and trying to catch him and trying to put an end to what he was doing. So they should have also expected this could have possibly happened. They understand this. Now I want to acknowledge the God complex. Just because he had a God complex doesn't mean he was wrong once again. And technically speaking, it depends how you view this, and there could be many different perspectives on this. You could say he's some egotistical maniac who thinks he's a god and better than everybody else around him, and he's just some self-centered fool. Or you could see it as this is actually a powerful mindset to have. It shows that he believes in himself. It shows that maybe he thinks this is a good way to get what he's doing to work. And doing this and having a god complex, it doesn't prove that he's wrong in any way. I'm sure warriors who took on their rivals and took their enemies' lives would have had some degree of a god complex, feeling powerful, especially people with great reputations and who had done so much and been through so many different wars. This just shows that he had a strong mindset, he believed in himself, he was confident, and viewed, due to his intelligence and capabilities, that he could be like a god, or he could be a god, because it depends what you call a god and label a god. But by depending on the standards, there's nothing wrong with him considering himself a god to a degree. Only morally today, some people have these man-made ideologies that this means that you're a narcissist or that you only care about yourself and that you're so stuck up or whatever. However, once again, this doesn't prove what he was doing was wrong, and it doesn't prove that he shouldn't have had the god complex or this belief in himself. And what he was doing was actually the right thing to do, because not only is it good for him because it gives him a stronger mindset and so on, however, it works, and you could see the people around him would start to accept what he was doing, and him having a little bit of this god complex was helping him reach his goal and was making people believe in Kira. You also brought up the fact of why criminals become criminals, and you should have looked at that. Well, Avent, true, but these people are already criminals, and like I mentioned before, you take out people who are against you. You take out people you disagree with. You take out people who you view as evil. Sure, maybe in the future, he would have tried to do things to prevent people from becoming evil. However, if the people are already evil, it makes sense, once again, for him to go ahead and take them out. And that would be him being nice if he was to consider it to the point where he didn't take people's lives out because they were influenced in certain ways. But everybody can be, and some people end up being evil while others don't. So this doesn't justify him being wrong. And being a victim of your own circumstances doesn't justify being a criminal. We see time and time again, a lot of people that are criminals didn't have to be criminals, or could have chose not to be. Even the small percentage of people that were in very unfair situations, still, it makes sense for him to take them out if they're evil and they're criminals and they've done so many bad things to help reach his end goal. You have to remember, people know they're going to be taken out by Kira since they're evil, so they have time to wake up and change. And you mentioned poverty and so on, fixing those other parts of society, that is the issue. Yes, but just because these are issues, not everybody is evil due to them, and not everybody with hard situations ends up being evil. How you act in these situations more so shows the type of person you are and your personality. He could have tried to fix these issues to help people. However, everything he was doing seems correct and needed to reach his end goal. Even if he was not getting rid of all evil, he was still getting really, really close to getting rid of all evil and having a huge positive impact on the world. And only believing your ideas was right, once again, doesn't prove what he was doing himself was wrong. And everybody has their opinions based on facts. So who are you to say that what he was doing was wrong? You also brought up the fact of how he was going to take the lives of people who weren't contributing to society. Now, this is understandably a little bit different. However, are the people that are not contributing to society evil? No. But doing this once again is not actually wrong. In nature, we see the members of a tribe or some animal pack that aren't contributing get negative punishments on themselves, like the rest of their tribe being angry at them or leaving them, not giving them the benefits of like getting food if they never help. go get the animal, bring it down, or help with anything. Is this truly evil? You could say it could be caused by evil, someone not contributing, someone having evil intentions and hating others or whatever for an unjustified reason. However, depending on Light's complete goal, it may have been necessary to take the lives of people who were not contributing to society in some way, because it shows that the people who aren't contributing to society are probably people with bad traits, and wanting to get rid of people who have bad characteristics and they're going to keep society from reaching its potential is understandable. And taking these people's lives isn't wrong, because people who are against what you're trying to do, who aren't getting along with you, and are harming you in any way, is understandable to take the life of. I've talked a lot about taking the lives of others in this video, and of course taking the lives of others a lot of the time can be very sad, and someone losing their life can be very sad. And this is a very controversial topic, but I've just been going at it from a logical perspective. Avent, I like your channel, and I want this to be more so just like a friendly debate, and I happen to disagree with your video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.